Guys, on the line, I've got our beautiful Miss Melicorn. Melicorn, say hello.
Hello.
It's wonderful to have you on air with me, and I know I've been begging and pleading with you to please can I have the opportunity to interview you, and thank you so much for your time before we start.
It's only a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. Mrs. Melicorn. I'm sorry, I do believe I'm so used to say Mr. Royd and Miss Melicorn. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. I want to know, when did you start gaming?
Yeah, I started around the age of 9. If you consider a Donkey Kong handheld device to be a method of gaming. But back when I was still a little kid, I had a blackjack and a poker and one of those famous Tetris 8-bit games.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
That's when it started. Yes, I only got a PS2 when I was in my late teens. That's the first time that I got a console. And obviously, whenever we visited friends and family and they had all of their TV, those old school TV games, I used to enjoy playing those as well. My parents didn't believe in gaming though.
Yeah, that's
so
so awesome.
Anything else except for the handheld devices.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, that was the best time of the time. I mean, we didn't have, like I said to Roy last time, we didn't have to worry about load shedding and internet problems and lag when we had those handheld items there.
No subscription services or anything.
Absolutely. Miss Melicorn, how long have you been gaming? Because I think I've known you for the past maybe half a year, and I've seen a lot of content from you, but I want to know, how long have you been doing this?
Avid gamer, where I've had my own console for about 2.5 years, nearly 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm referring to avid as being at least 3 plus nights a week, then yes, for the last 3 years.
That's absolutely, and that's a lot of commitment in hours, eh? If you turn that around in hours, I don't think you'll have enough fingers and toes to count them all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. One of my friends recently told me that he saw that I have over 1,000 hours on Fortnite alone.
Ooh,
so
that
I
is...
wasn't sure if I should be proud about that or ashamed.
That is absolutely, that's insane. I wish I had so much hours on Apex. I would have been a predator by now.
I know, my skill hasn't improved in the game at all.
No, that's no need to. As long as you're doing it for the love of the game, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Ms. Melicorn, the reason why I wanted to get you on the show, and I'm sure a lot of listeners out there would love to ask you these type of questions, is especially, and I want to start off first is, I know that you're very active on the streaming platforms. I know in the beginning you were using Mixer, if I'm not mistaken, and then Mark
That's right, yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg went and he bought out Mixer to convert it over to Facebook Live or Facebook Watch.
Yeah, I used to be on Mixer. They weren't really bought over by Facebook. We were technically just dumped on Facebook, where we were told that we can move over, we can switch over, and they opened a platform opportunity for partners from Mixer. But according to their tweet, they weren't in fact bought over. It was just an agreement to take the leftovers, basically.
Well, that's
yes,
just
I
absolutely
used to be on Mixer, but I am on YouTube and Twitch now.
Yeah, because I did see that your YouTube and your Twitch account is progressing at an hourly state, and it's going real good, and it's going well, and things are just looking out for you.
No, definitely. The growth has been exceptionally well, yeah.
Okay, no, because that's absolutely great news. So, Ms. Melicorn, at this stage, is streaming a developing success in South Africa?
It does have the possibility of being great. We have the talent, we have the resources. We don't have the necessary support from both the local viewers, sponsors, or media involvement, really. So if you compare it to how things were 10 years ago, yes, it is developing, but still far from being classified as a success if you compare it to the first world countries. So it is developing, but I don't think we can classify as being successful yet compared to other countries.
Oh, that's and comparing to, now that you're talking about other countries, I know that we've got a lot of infrastructure that needs to be upgraded, and especially our internet speeds and stuff like that, and get the fundamentals of streaming. But there's a small little of not a small apologies for saying that, but there's a really big case currently in South Africa, and I know it's not just in South Africa, but we as a South African, for me as a South African gaming community, it's bothering me, and this is quite of a big headache for me. How do you feel about and I do, if you're not feeling comfortable about answering this, but how do you feel about gender-based violence?
I don't mind answering your question at all. I mean, I could actually go on about this topic for hours.
Yeah.
But if I try and focus on the relevance that it has to gaming, like if you think in reality, the females are disrespected throughout the gaming industry in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Like as you said, the recent cases that has surfaced has brought a lot of attention to female gamers and female streamers on social media. And it's appalling.
Yeah.
But I feel that it needs to be treated at the root of the problem. It's more than just people being verbally abused
Yeah.
with insults and things. But the majority of responses where women are being told to mute their mics, it's actually, I think that's the scariest part, is how the community and how other people are responding to the problem, telling women to keep quiet about it or just to mute their mics and not be on online parties and things, instead of getting to the root of the problem and telling guys not to act in that manner.
Yeah. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah, it's very sad to see communities, especially gaming communities. And I know a lot of these things are mostly focused, like I said, it's gender-based violence. But there's also one that is really frustrating, is especially for internet bullying and stuff, and party bullying, when we call them, or they call them, the noobs, and then they attack them for no reason, or they tell them that they're bots and stuff like that. It's really uncomfortable, and it's really not fun to play games, and then the whole time you get these comments from other people that just think they are much more better than the actual game itself.
It's definitely not what you want to hear when you're playing online. A lot of people use online and multiplayer games to try and make friends and make connections. I mean, we've made connections with other people. We've met on multiplayer games and on games such as Ark, where you have a server, and that's how you make friends. And sadly, the youth of today thinks it's more funny to insult each other rather to try and make a friend somewhere. It's just become the easiest thing to insult someone, because there's no consequences anymore than what it is to try and make a friend out of someone.
Thank you so much for the information. I know sometimes you are really, it's especially from a female point of view, where I discuss these issues, and a lot of them are uncomfortable talking about it because it really hurts them. I mean, and they also just want to have fun, and they want to enjoy what the guys were enjoying and being part of that world. I mean, they're doing their efforts, they're trying to keep up, and we can't let them down. We need to lead by example.
No, definitely, yes.
Absolutely. Miss Melicorn, I just want to ask you one last question, and I know a lot of my female listeners out there are sitting in their chairs waiting for these questions, but especially you, and you well known over South Africa at this stage, and a much polite and beautiful streamer at this stage. Do you have any 5 quick tips that you can give to my female listeners, gamers out there?
Okay, well, if I have to narrow it down to a couple of tips, this isn't only just for females, because, I mean, being a streamer is not supposed, or even a gamer as such, it's not supposed to be determined, or your success won't be determined about whether you're male or female.
Absolutely true.
So, yes, so if it is tips for streamers, I would say the biggest thing that you need to do is engage with your community. Make sure that you greet them, make sure that you know who they are. You have to be inviting, even if you aren't streaming to anybody at the moment. So don't focus on the numbers of how many viewers you have, don't focus on the numbers of followers. And every time you stream, don't worry about how many people are watching. Speak to your community, or speak to whoever may be listening, even if, think that somebody is listening who you find inspiring, who you'd want to impress, because you never know who will go back into your VODs and actually listen to it. So for me, the community is the first thing, and also you can't just go onto social media and click, I'm going live, and expect people to rush to your live feed and to your stream online on various social media platforms. And because the platform itself is not going to support you, you need to find people to support you on that platform.
Well, Miss Melicorn, thank you so much. Thank you really so much for your time and your effort for joining me on my birthday bash. And it's been an absolute wonderful speaking to you and just hearing out there how the females are feeling about what's happening in our gaming community. And as I can narrow it down and summarize it down, that I do believe that all of us are trying to make gaming in South Africa much more bigger as it is, because we both know there's so much potential out here.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of potential both
Yeah.
for gamers and for streamers.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you can agree upon that. Ms. Melicorn, have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for joining me once again.
And thank you for having me. Have a wonderful evening further.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Well, guys, there you have it. Beautiful Miss Melicorn. You got a few tips there. She did tell you how she's feeling about gender-based violence out there as well. So, listeners, please out there, try your very single best every single day when you jump onto that PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. Try and lead by example, guys. Help those who cannot be helped. Speak to those who does not have a voice. Speak for those who does not have a voice. Guys, please bring your part to gaming, to make gaming in South Africa much more better than it actually is. Because there she actually admits it herself that there is much more talent, and there's so much talent in South Africa that we can break through walls with the talent we have in South Africa, especially for streamers and professional players.